the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lou right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Braxton, oh, that was a good pop of the non-alcoholic beer can. Episode 30, Woody Lou, Sports and You, chins up. But it's just good to see you, Braxton. It's been a very long time.
It's been a very long time, Daniel. I've missed you.
I've missed you too. A long 45 days in the field.
I think 45 days might be an exaggeration, but it briefs really well here, so we'll go with 45 days.
I mean, that's what it's billed as, right?
Yeah, that's how it's sold. So we'll say it was a strenuous, cold 45 days under the stars.
Yeah, under the stars is right. Cold stars too. You were
Cold
out
stars.
there for
Arctic air flow is pretty well documented across the southeast United States. So
how was field shave in the Arctic chill?
So I got bougie this field problem because I think we can all see, and I got a lot of riffraff going on behind me, Dan. I got the Mad Hatter and my beautiful mother and wife here. So
are you co-located?
I'm co-located right now on site.
And is that a surprise? Are you gonna? I think you should share the screen, and we add a surprise third guest co-host. He crushed it last week.
I'd have to flip it over. Matt, more on him later.
More on him later.
No, but the field shave, I've spent a lot of time in the field, Dan. And so this time, my first sergeant had a coffee maker. And so I was plugging that in and running just unfiltered, just water through it. Yeah. And I committed to having only hot shaves. So I upgraded my sanity by doing that and made things better for me.
That's good. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice.
Well, you got to be careful because if you cold shave too much and you get a facial problem, you'll get kicked out these days. So I can't let that happen. I have someone like you trying to bounce me out of service. I got mouths to feed.
That's right. That's right. You do have many mouths to feed. Oh my goodness. I'm a little thrown off right now that you're co-located with the Mad Hatter and Miss Amy Lewis.
They walked in the house 20 minutes ago, and they're coming to help out with the procedure. And Mom came bearing Valentine's gifts, so I was very excited for that. I've had about 10 Airheads and cookies and Reese cups because I can't eat or drink after midnight. So I've just been gorging myself to prepare for however long it is until I can eat again. So I'm preparing by just doing a complete dirty bulk after I've been on a pretty clean diet. So belly's in shambles, but morale is high.
That's good. What time is showtime tomorrow? What's your hit time to report?
I got to show up at 7.
Okay.
I verified that it doesn't mean show up at 6:30. They actually meant show up at 7. So whatever that means. Probably sit around for 2 hours to get brought back, wait another 2 hours, and then procedure for about an hour and a half. So
Yeah,
hopefully out of there
thankfully,
by
I've
3.
never had any type of orthopedic surgery, but I imagine it's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Well, the last time I had orthopedic surgery, it was at a place that's reputable, St. Vincent's in Birmingham, Dr. James Andrews' clinic.
Very
Uh,
reputable.
yeah, and I think everything went well, but I do remember cussing out the nurse after I woke up from anesthesia who offered me a Sprite or a Coke, and I was offended that she thought it was appropriate for her to offer me a Sprite as if I would accept that as a worthwhile drink for me coming out of surgery. So,
Would you want like a
okay.
beer?
No, I wanted the Coke. I just thought
Uh,
it was ludicrous that she would offer me either or in that situation.
yeah.
So I'm hoping I don't make a scene of myself tomorrow coming off anesthesia. Last time I had anesthesia is when I got that little back injection, and I tried to buy Kaylee a new pair of sunglasses. So you really don't know which direction I'm going to go. So just keep the bank cards and sodas away from me, and hopefully things will be good.
Okay. All right. Bank cards and sodas cannot be near a anesthesed Lou.
No.
So to the title of episode, they're pretty crazy. We're at episode 30. I don't think anyone thought we would be at episode 30 when we had that first episode at the uh, bar slash sink of my Pooler
Yeah.
apartment.
And if I would have told you we were at episode 30 with merch, you would be convinced that our refrads would already be in, and we would be on our way to having bukus of money because that was a prerequisite for merch for you.
Nope, we got 26 subscribers. We're kind of stuck on that 26 number.
I think we're close to 27 because I'm pretty sure Patsy's been working on her hairdresser. So
Perfect.
We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully we gain 27.
Oh, more later. This is towards the end of the show. I meant to have this as like almost a surprise topic and suggestion. We have a listener suggestion from Annie in Boston, but we'll get to that at the end. So we'll keep that as a teaser for our listeners at the end.
Nice.
So chins up, obviously that refers to yours truly after last night's Super Bowl 60 in California. Braxton, I'm just going to let you lead off with Super Bowl 60, and I'll react to contact here on this one.
Yeah, so Kaylee decided she was a New England Patriots fan about 5 weeks ago. So you brought her into the fold. I bought her a New England Patriots sweatshirt for Valentine's Day that she opened in January.
Hell yeah.
And she was able to sport that through the playoffs, and she wore it last night. Now I was grilling steaks kind of around the pregame show. Like I saw bits and pieces of Green Day, and I didn't get to calculate the over under on the national anthem. I believe it came in at 159 and some change. So the under hit, but from the start, I remember I was coming in from bringing the steaks, and I said, "How did Seattle get down the field so quickly?" And Kaylee said, "Well, it just kind of did." And I'll say this, Dan, because I don't want to make you rehash this, and I think it's pretty clear to how to recap the game is your defense for the Patriots defense for the first 3 quarters kept you guys in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fault a defense for being down 12 or even 19 through 3 quarters and think that they haven't put their offense in a position to be competitive and have a chance to win the game. So I think if I was a left tackle who had any desire to play for the New England Patriots, I might have my agent making phone calls this offseason, at least just to put a little heat there on the left side of the line. But no, the offense didn't show up. I told Kaylee after about the first 2 to 3 drives, this is classic Vrabel tightening up. And as someone who's watched a lot of Mike Vrabel coach football, I could tell he was tightening up. I feel like we did the same thing with Tannehill when he was the AFC Championship. Running the ball got you there, but sometimes you have to go away from that and open up the play sheet. And I think he was kind of committed to his guns. And then when you're left tackle's giving up pressures. That kind of convinces you to keep with the run instead of getting too creative. So I think we got stagnant, and then as the clock ticks, you can't make up time. Time keeps going. So that kind of resulted into a overall lackluster performance for an overall great season.
Yeah, I think I was talking to some buddies about this, and it was one of the worst like games as a fan. It felt like death by 1,000 cuts. Just those field goal, field goal, field goal. What was even worse was, like you said, the Patriots defense for 3 quarters played phenomenally and kept us largely in the game. But it was just they had pressure on Darnold, and he was slipperier than an eel last night. And all those third and longs that he would just they'd barely get across the first down. And you're just like, oh, and bend but don't break defense, and it was too much. And yeah, I do think I read some reports that that Drake May, his shoulder, much like you've been shot up with painkillers, his shoulder. I mean, you can probably speak to this. Was shot up with painkillers to get out on the field. He said he couldn't feel his shoulder. Never good for a quarterback. And then
No.
The 4-man rush that Seattle had, all the credit to Seattle and that defense, being able to get pressure on him like they did with the 4-man rush, and the left side, atrocious football. And I think the combination of Drake's shoulder and then his pocket presence, like he's shook, that count is all off. Bad throws, forcing throws. It just, that combination, the Patriots, they never had a chance.
Yeah, and since about week 10, I was pretty much ready to crown the Seahawks as a shoe-in for the Super Bowl. They're just a very complete team, and I think what gets lost through the Drake May aura is Sam Darnold completely rewriting his story from being drafted by the Jets and then bouncing around San Francisco, finds himself great little run with the Vikings, and then gets himself to Seattle. Coming from nothing to a very silent assassin, doesn't make a lot of noise, doesn't get a lot of headlines, and dude's playing great football for the last 2 seasons, undeniable, and it ended up in a Super Bowl victory with the Seahawks team that is ridiculously well-rounded, and that showed whenever they won the trophy.
Yeah, definitely a complete football team. Question for you, talking about Sam Darnold, and I do think super impressive. First Super Bowl quarterback to play for his 5th team in the Super Bowl, then to win it, coming off a back-to-back 14-win seasons. What are comps for Sam Darnold for you? And where is he right now in Hall of Fame talk?
Well, again, he's a silent assassin. So who thinks about Sam Darnold? It's funny you say that, because the person I would think of now, he won a Super Bowl, is Phillip Rivers, who also took the Seahawks down to the wire this year. I think he could be built.
He never won a Super Bowl.
No, I know that's what I meant by
okay.
He won a Super Bowl, but
yep, gotcha.
Phillip Rivers, as far as complete game manager, you're not going to talk about him, but he can keep you in games. And then I thought that showed this year when, what was that, his first or second game back? In the Colts, they played each other down at the wire. But no, I don't really. He's a weird archetype, in my opinion. I don't even know. He's Sam Darnold, and no one knows this. Like the Sam Darnold of last year, I think it was week 8, and people were like, "Why are the Vikings still so good?
Yeah,
why is Sam Darnold good?" Maybe a little more athletic Brock Purdy type. I don't know.
I'm curious, at this stage in his career, I think a comp is Russell Wilson. Same team, Super Bowl winner, great defense, stacking, consecutive seasons, double-digit wins.
I don't like Russell Wilson, so I would never make that comp.
Well, on the flip side, I think, and I had a conversation with actually Tony from Weymouth on this earlier today. Russell Wilson is a quarterback that's probably played himself out of Hall of Fame conversations.
No, he for sure has. He should have hung it up a long time ago. And he his overall I don't even want to say if it's his resume, but his overall perception across the league was not to a high enough regard that he could then go and bounce around with terrible performances and end up being backups to put himself into the Hall of Fame.
So what does Sam Darnold have to do to be a Hall of Famer? Is it just one more Super Bowl, a la Eli Manning?
Well, I mean, Sam Darnold got drafted in what 2018,
2018.
2019, yeah, 2018. So I mean,
What a class. Lamar, Josh Allen, Darnold. There's someone else too I'm missing.
does Sam Darnold have more to claim to a Super Bowl or to a Hall of Fame than Josh Allen?
I mean, he's got a Super Bowl win.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So by off that logic, if you ask someone on the street who's a sure thing Hall of Famer, is it Josh Allen or Sam Darnold? They're going to say Josh Allen. So for
Who
Sam
knows
Darnold,
what a sure thing is nowadays for the Hall of Fame when Mr.
yeah, but
Kraft and
Bill Belichick's thing. I think stuff's come out of it. I think that's what happens when you trade in. When you get a 24-year-old girlfriend, you got to live with some of the second, third.
Did you see what Jordan was wearing at
Jordan
the
with the
Tar Heels basketball game?
You can't rock the Asian massage shirt to the Tar Heel to the college game.
It's Betty. It's Betty.
No, she her frontal lobe isn't fully developed. So what are you going to do about that? You got to give her some time. It's okay. What are we talking about? Sam Darnold. I think he needs 2 more Super Bowls. If you're going to be Sam Darnold,
a lock.
To be a lock, yes.
Okay.
And I think there'd be something to be said if he won one more with the Seahawks and then another one. I didn't see us talking about Sam Darnold's Hall of Fame potential in this episode. And I'm glad I led with him being a gray man in my eyes, so I don't get hit being able to speak intelligently on Sam Darnold's Hall of Fame potential. But I think if he got 2 more Super Bowls, I think any quarterback who they secure 3 Super Bowls, that should secure them the Hall of Fame. I think 2 Super Bowls definitely gets you in the conversation, but then we probably need to peel back the onion on how you came about securing those 2 Super Bowls, the teams that you played for, and then how you actually impacted the team, ultimately winning the trophy.
And I love how we've relegated the Mad Hatter back to the chat when you are co-located. But Joe Flacco Hall of Fame is a question from Mr. Chris Lewis in the chat.
He's 10 feet from me. I think he's going to start.
It's the best part.
He might be like the phone line. He might just start sliding me notes across the table.
Oh, I love it.
Joe Flacco, yes.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, I love Joe Flacco, though. So I'm really biased. That's why I can't be like a writer or a voter, because I'm very biased on if I like you or not. And I like Joe Flacco. I think he's a very handsome man. I think he plays football the right way. Smart player. And I would welcome him to the Hall of Fame, yes.
I do like Joe Flacco. Joe Cool. I think it's so funny that your dad's co-located and is sending in questions in the chat. And by the way, I have to bring this up again. He absolutely crushed it as co-host, and we're going to get to a topic I know near and dear to him involving an Easter bunny. But Braxton, you were very active in the chat, and I am curious, how did it feel? It's your show, but you were relegated to typing in. Watching it from the field.
No, well, I he did great, and I appreciated it, and I told him how much I appreciated it. What I think's funny is, so I remember when we did Basement Sports Talk, he took it extremely seriously, which is good, because if you're going to do it, you should take it seriously. And like I said, I got the riffraff 10 feet from me, and when they got in here, they started talking about how, like, he was mad because I wasn't set up yet 30 minutes before. And he said, "What are you doing? Where are your notes? Why aren't you prepared?" And then Mom said that she got banished to like the upstairs, like an hour out from showtime. Meanwhile, I got them, crisscross applesauce, like giggling like schoolgirls 5 feet from me. No, but he did good. And another issue we have, Dan, that also has came up in the last 30 minutes or so, is I think the Mad Hatter thing, we've reawoken something that was laying dormant and was kind of asleep, because now we're talking, what we're wearing to my sister-in-law's wedding, and Dad's already found a hat that he wants to wear to the rehearsal dinner and to the reception. So he's already looking at new hats to wear with formal wear. So I just said
We
no
like
hats. But
fedora? Are we like
yeah,
houndstooth? Like
I
what?
don't. You can't give him too much. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Bless his heart. So I'm sure he likes it, and he can wear a hat. He's a grown man. He can do what he wants. But the hats had gone away, but we gave those new life. And I know he was. What I'm really curious in, and I didn't ask, is how much thought went into the hat that he wore last week. If like how long he was standing in his closet, going through his hat arsenal to figure out. And I don't know, like maybe the bourbon he was drinking influenced the hat he chose, or what the thought process was. But I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was good.
I mean, I had an absolute blast last week. That was so much fun. I appreciate his preparation, his research. We talked about ferret legging, tradio. It was a great episode.
So the ferret legging. So I was like half listening, and then I just hear him talking about ferrets in drawers, and talking about how feisty one could be with your stuff, and how you said it's like drawing the different bulls of the PBR. You got to draw a number, and like the worse the ferret, the better score you get. The longer you go with that ferret. So I thought we were talking about snowboarding. The next thing I know, we're talking about ferrets eating foul. So no, it was good. Tradio was great. I'm glad. Who was it Tony from Weymouth, or who was
Yes,
it?
Tony from Weymouth submitted the Howard Stern crank calls to Tradio.
And I sent you the link to watch. Tradio is the best, and I'm happy to know that Tradio is bigger than I mean, I thought it was pretty localized. I'm sure a lot of that stuff goes throughout like that generation, but the Tradio prank calls were great. No, he did good. He was very passionate about the halftime show, and I figured we'd hit on the halftime show before we transition.
I think we should. I think it's a good segue into Bad Bunny.
So I'll tell you this. It was a show, and I think where I'm upset the most is two things. I like to watch in the halftime show so I can critique it. Like I thought Rihanna's was great.
Yes.
I thought the one in LA with those guys was great.
Yep.
And then I thought the one last year was okay. But I like to judge them. I can't judge this one because I don't know what he was saying. And I feel like there's a lot of nuance lost with the message and the songs. Lady Gaga, that was rough for her. She can't dance as well as I think she thought she was in the moment, but she was feeling herself, and that's good. Now, I was talking to a buddy, and we were talking about the halftime show being in Spanish.
Yes.
And I just take the stance of I don't necessarily care, but like I said, I can't judge it. 'Cause I don't speak Spanish. And their response to me was, "Well, have you ever heard opera music?" And I said, "Well, matter of fact, I have." And he says, "Don't you think that's nice and beautiful?" And I said, "Actually, I don't, because I don't know what they're saying when they sing the opera." So it has nothing to do with Bad Bunny or any of that. I didn't think it was overly political or anything like that. I wouldn't know because I didn't know what he was saying, but I thought it was just homage to Puerto Rico, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I just can't judge it. So it could have been a 10 of 10 or it could have been a 0 of 10, but I don't think unless you are able to speak fluent Spanish and understand the nuance of the Puerto Rican music culture, you can give an accurate score to if it was good or not.
And we're getting some chatter in the chat, some input. So from producer Kaylee, she read that Bad Bunny asked Lady Gaga to sing and be a part of his halftime show because one of her albums got him out of a dark place that he was in. She thought that was nice. Miss Amy Lewis, she appreciated the production of Bad Bunny's halftime show. Didn't know what he was saying either, but the scenery and the all of that told a story.
Yeah.
And from the Mad Hatter, we know his thoughts on the Easter Bunny.
Oh gosh.
Drake May's game was similar to Bad Bunny's halftime show. He was trying to read Seattle's defense in closed caption.
Oh my gooses. Yeah.
I'll say I enjoyed it. Again, I had no idea what he was saying. I don't know any Bad Bunny songs, but the production value was incredible. Yeah, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, Jessica Alba was there, Pedro Pascal. and
Alex
definitely a lot of
Earl.
symbolism. His upbringing in Puerto Rico, and then some messages about what America is, and at the end, listed off all of the countries in the Western Hemisphere and not just the United States.
So you're from the Northeast. Now he did say the thing about all the Americas, all the
Hmm.
countries in America, which tell me this might be wrong with me. Maybe it's because it's the Winter Olympics time.
Sure.
I had no issues with him listing off all the countries in North and South America except for Canada. Didn't love the Canada throw in there, and I think that might be because it's Winter Olympics time and
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the one of the biggest rivalries in sports, USA Canada hockey. I can see that. You know,
yeah.
Winter Olympics, they're medal count. It's always US and Canada competing for top medal count. Sure.
So I think outside of the Canada one, I was like, I can get down with that. The Canada,
Yeah. I think that you're probably thinking too, like Canada, it's a Commonwealth. It's a Commonwealth country, so it's like, under the British crown, like it's got
yeah,
still ties to Europe.
they're not the same. They're Canada, but but overall, no, I didn't care. One thing, Dan, I didn't pay attention to as much this year is because I'm pretty deep into a Atlanta Braves dynasty on my Switch right now. Commercials, didn't watch too many of those. But
Dang. I was gonna ask you like what your favorite commercials were.
So
But
I like the
before
Bud Light. I like the Bud Light one when the keg was
Yep,
rolling down the hill with Peyton and them, and then Budweiser had the one with the eagle.
that one was awesome. That was my favorite. The Clydesdale and the Baby Eagle.
Budweiser's always the best. Those are really the only two that I could talk to you about halfway knowing what actually happened.
I really appreciated, and it was a PSA, but I thought it was very funny. Was Bruce Arians and the tight ends that were so relaxed, and it was testing for prostate cancer. So sending a good message, but also a very funny commercial.
Okay, not a political podcast. I did like the Mike Tyson one talking about how fat he was and his sister dying of obesity, and he was being very serious. But
Yeah,
it's
the
Mike
processed
Tyson,
foods.
and then said, don't stop processed foods," which I'm 100% down with. And then it just turned into, it said make America healthy again. I was like, oh man, it's gonna get. But no, I did like that one because it's true. America
Mhm.
sucks at that, and it's really annoying. But yeah, I liked Mike Tyson's.
In the chat, we got Miss Amy Lewis. She liked the 50 Cent DoorDash was her favorite. Producer Kaylee, she liked the kid quoting what his coach said to him. Mike Tyson, uh, and she cried actually at the little boy that was quoting his coach. And she pointed out as well that there was an actual wedding ceremony during Bad Bunny's halftime show, a real wedding. And something about Alex Earl. I don't.
You think that guy was ordained?
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Yeah, Alex Earl was there.
Like in the halftime show.
Yeah, she was standing next to the bodega, or she was there dancing or something.
She a guest of one Tom Brady as well.
Can we talk about Brady and not like sharing? How did you feel about him not wanting the Patriots or not caring about the Patriots winning?
A weak and soft. That's not my quarterback. That's unfortunately mainstream Brady trying to appeal to everyone and therefore appealing to no one.
Okay. Take that, TB12. Do you think it had anything to do with his future head coach being on the Seahawks side of the ball and he didn't want to cross any lines there as a part owner of the Raiders?
Probably is part of like his calculus in making that decision. He did go back on it, which I think is even worse. Like he did support the Patriots after there was so much like backlash from former players and the media. But now I'm sure that was a factor in him not wanting to make a pick initially.
Yeah, I think that's weird. I think you got to make a pick if you won that many Super Bowls with a team and in a city that held you at such high regard.
Yeah. And there was some, I don't think I buy into this, but some talking heads were saying that he actually doesn't want like May to win a Super Bowl. Like he wants to be the only quarterback in New England history to bring home Super Bowl titles. I don't
That's
buy that.
silly.
I don't buy that.
That's stupid.
Oh, I forgot about the Dunkin' Donuts. That's a great one, Miss Patsy. That one was so funny. It was a parody of Good Will Hunting with all those personalities. Matthew LeBlanc, Jennifer Aniston. Did you see that one, Braxton? You're too busy on your Switch.
Ooh. No, I was beating the Dodgers.
Beating the Dodgers. Good. I'm happy you beat the Dodgers. Is anything
Anytime you
else
get a
on
chance to do
the
that.
Super Bowl, Braxton?
No, I mean it's time to look forward to the draft.
That's right. That's right. Well, I think talking Braves Dodgers, a little bit of out of order on the ticker topics, but you want to go into pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training.
Yeah, and don't forget while we're on this topic, I gave you some homework today.
I might get an
So
F or a D on my homework assignment.
pitchers and catchers, they're reporting this week, next couple of days. Braves, I think they reported today. Rest of the teams will be there around the 17th, with games starting about 4 to 5 days after. Braves are starting off with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays down there in Florida. No, I'm just excited. I think February gets a bad rep due to the weather, but if you peel the onion back on February, it's the shortest month, but within that month, you get the Super Bowl, you get like lead up to March Madness college basketball with some huge conference matchups. You get pitchers and catchers reporting. You get spring training games, and you get the Daytona 500. You get the waste management. So a lot of good sports happen in February that I think often gets overlooked because people are just so ready to transition the weather to a full-on springtime.
It's actually funny you think we do think about the doldrums of sports, and I mean people forget that the Super Bowl is the first week of February, the biggest sporting event of the year. And right now too, we have like the Winter Olympics every 4 years. Not to mention, like you said, those other. It's like basically every weekend is kind of jam packed with like pretty good sports in February.
Yeah, you can grind out February pretty easily if you have sports to look forward to. But with baseball, I'll tell you this: have you been to a spring training game?
Unfortunately, I have never been to a spring training game. It's always been a dream of mine to go to Fort Myers, Fenway South, to watch my beloved Red Sox.
I've talked to you about us going down there and doing the circuit and how much access you can get to the teams and how they're just playing on like normal rec fields. If you ever go to spring training, I think you get a different appreciation for it because like spring training is baseball, obviously high level, the highest level.
Yeah.
But it's like baseball at its purest form of like these professionals making, especially if you play for the Dodgers and you're over there in the Cactus League, making just buku's amount of money. And so when you combine the weather with the onslaught of spring coming, with these professionals just owning their craft at a game they've been playing since they were like 3 years old, it's really beautiful and it gets you really excited. And there's nothing better, and you don't have to answer yet, but there's nothing better than watching. 'Cause MLB Network usually has all the games on. If you can get MLB Network whenever your TV is, not YouTube TV, but you can watch those games. I think if you buy it on MLB Network, the app, you can watch it. They're fun to watch. You never know what you're going to see. And then this year, which I didn't just mention, you'll have some guys out, but the only reason they'll be out is because they're getting ready for the World Baseball Classic that's about to pop off. So it's really just a great time, and it's great to see baseball. It really is just its purest form. Getting ready for opening day.
So actually, I'm going to counter you. Baseball in its purest form. I believe baseball in its purest form is Cape Cod Summer League. Now, the quality is not the same, obviously, as the pros, but for me, that is baseball in its purest form in one of the most beautiful places on earth. And you have these amateur athletes they're not being paid. They're not being compensated, and they're just grinding out baseball games in the summer.
Don't quote me on this, but former Cardinal, current Mariner, Brendan Donovan told me when he was up at the Cape Cod League that it was the most stressful and difficult baseball he had ever played. And I think maybe that's a combination of the centralization of ability and
Right.
competitiveness with guys on the cusp of potentially breaking through. Most of those guys are already going to definitely be on low A rosters, get drafted in some capacity. But you couple that with just all of them grinding it out for it makes for super competitive baseball as well.
I have to imagine, yeah. I mean, getting an invitation to Cape Cod Baseball League is a feat and accomplishment in and of itself. But I'd love to pick his brain on that because the pressure to perform in such a small sample size. So it's not that many games, and you
Yeah.
have pro scouts at every single game.
Yeah, and not to counter the Cape Cod League, but I'd argue you've never been to a Carolina Blowfish game in Columbia, South Carolina, which
No,
is
sir, I have not.
that's I don't know that actual league, but same idea. It's a college like late college baseball wood bat summer league, and they played at a very sketchy stadium in downtown Columbia, and we went to a couple of those games. But those are also a good time. Really, baseball is just the best. I think we're highly and in any way. Elliot was out here. Elliot decided that she was going to start hitting balls off the tee
Nice.
yesterday, and she has a natural right-handed swing, which we'll just have to live with. But she was like, she hit a line drive about 15 feet that hit Gigi, who was sitting in her chair, right in the face. And Elliot was distraught, apologizing and hugging her little sister. And I was like, that was a great, great hit. I don't know. There's no reason to apologize. She has to catch that next time.
Yeah.
So it was like an E6 situation. But it was a great hit. And so it's awesome at any level.
That's cool. I do have a bone to pick with you, Braxton. You brought up a friend of the program and close friend of yours, one Brendan Donovan, former Cardinal, current Mariner. You were kind of puffing your chest out that WSNY was going to break that news. That didn't happen.
No, I talked to him. We spoke after the news broke, but no, turns out when his agent was letting Jeff Passan and those guys know, he accidentally missed me on that group text so I could leak it. When he was like, "Hey, I gotta let Carl Ravitch know," he did not let me know. When it's a 3-team trade, there's a lot of contacts involved, so it's easy to see why I was left off of that.
I think it's low risk, leaking to you. Maybe, give us a 5-minute head start. I think that's reasonable against the giant that is, ESPN and in the House of Mouse. And, if we got it wrong, no one's really paying attention. So
I guess I could have just broke it anyway.
right.
But when friendships are involved,
Sure. Friendships, journalistic integrity.
So when I was talking to him, I was like, I hope the transition's well for the family, blah, blah, blah. But then I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, he's getting a pretty good contract. He's going to play for a team that was in the World Series last year. Yeah, it's not the Southeast or Midwest, but it's Seattle. But I get paid a lot less to have to go PCS to JBLM or Fort Drum. So I think he'll be okay. We're really just talking a condo situation in Seattle. Like they're not really going to be there full time. So no, but it's good. And he'll have a chance. He's going to play with the best catcher in baseball, which would be awesome.
Yep.
It's a really good team, so it's a good opportunity. And he'll get to be an everyday third baseman, so it'll be good.
Selfishly, I was hoping that the Red Sox were going to make a push for him to play at third base. I would have loved to have had him play for the Red Sox.
And I think this is big for spring training is big for the Red Sox because I don't think you guys know who's going to play in the infield. I don't really know what you guys think your roster is going to look like. A lot of competition out there.
I mean, I think the left side is going to be Trevor Story and Marcelo Mayer. I don't know if that's like the greatest solution, but
I was seeing something. Yeah, I was seeing some stuff that you guys were still in limbo.
Oh, the team's always in limbo. I can't Can't break up
The
or
Braves don't
divorce
have
them
sports.
like you did with the Titans. That just won't take.
Well, I had some divorce separation updates, but I was going to let you talk on how I can watch sports this spring and summer before I
Yeah, no, you
talk
did. You
about.
gave me that homework assignment. I failed. Oh well, no, I'll let you determine that. Um, my
Well,
understanding
so
is
the homework assignment I gave Dan was with baseball on the horizon. You know, Dan is a barred attorney. He is a smart person, the smartest person I know, actually. So I tasked Dan with simply explaining to our viewers, hey, I'm a fan of this team or a team in baseball. How do I watch them this year? And that's all I asked Dan to explain. And I gave the caveat of please explain if you are in the market or out of the market. So, for example, if I live in Georgia and want to watch the Red Sox, or if I live in Georgia and want to watch the Braves, how would I do that? Seems very simple for a barred attorney to be able to answer. That was the homework I gave. Ready, go.
so you got your MLB TV. That's probably
Okay.
the best way to get the most games from the most teams. However, with the new agreement that I guess MLB TV and ESPN brokered, my understanding is that there is now a double paywall. So if you're a new time subscriber to MLB TV, the first month of ESPN Unlimited it's waived or comped, and then you'll get an ESPN Unlimited login, and you should be able to access MLB TV even after the first month. But if you are not a first-time subscriber, you will need to pay for ESPN Unlimited to access MLB TV. I don't understand how that's fair,
Now,
but
there's just to clarify here, Dan. When you say ESPN Unlimited, is that the upgrade that you had me buy when YouTube TV wasn't having college sports? The ESPN Unlimited, not the Plus, the Unlimited that, when bundled with Hulu
yes,
and Disney, is $45 a month.
that would be the ESPN Limited that and
And
Braxton
then
words do have meaning. I did not make you buy or have you buy anything. I just advised of what options were when the House of Mouse rudely decided to not provide its programming to YouTube TV.
now, glass half full. I was
Mm.
not smart enough to cancel my unlimited, so I do still have ESPN Unlimited. So check. All right, Dan, I got ESPN Unlimited. How do I buy MLB TV and how much does that cost? Slash, how do they know I am an owner of ESPN Unlimited?
I do not have
How
the
do I show the
answers on
proof?
this, but my best guess would be you'd have to link your account from MLB TV to ESPN Unlimited using your email address. No endorsement, but I recommend going to either GovX or ID.me if you are a military member, and they generally have discounted rates for full MLB TV package or for single team purchases.
Okay. So I go on ID.me or GovX and I say, hey, I live in Fort Stewart, Georgia. I have ESPN Unlimited. I'm going to get my 10 or 15% discount so I can watch a single team, and I select the Braves.
Yes,
So I pay my money. I pay my $90, Dan. Now,
you're going to be
will I
blacked
be able
out
to
in
actually?
Georgia.
So now I won't be able to watch the Braves. So
Okay.
I can't pick the Braves.
Well, you
Next question,
could.
Dan.
What you next could do, Braxton. You remember what
VPN.
we did
Don't even
in
say
Poland.
that three-letter word. I can't work a VPN.
Don't even say that. That's the solution.
Okay, next question. A lot of these teams who broke out with FanDuel South
Yeah.
signed a deal. There's 9 teams left with FanDuel Sports Network. 8 of the teams signed with MLB TV. So what you're saying works for those 8 teams, or really all the teams now.
Did the break? So
Except,
those teams that breached their contract with FanDuel TV and are going to purely MLB. I don't think that blackout applies to those teams. If you're in market,
no,
you
it
should
does
be able.
not.
It does not. I'm right. It does not.
You're correct. So I could live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and pay for the MLB TV and watch
Yep.
the Reds. Correct.
But my
So
understanding is the
okay,
Braves have not broken, or they're doing their own
no,
network.
the Braves have broken FanDuel, but they have not signed with MLB TV. And as of the recording of this episode, with spring training games starting in 2 weeks, they have not unveiled or released their program of which how they're going to watch the Braves. Now, what I'm going to tell you, I'm putting the Braves on the clock. I will chop my last chop if by time opening day comes, there is not a Braxton-proof way for me to click, put in a credit card, and watch the Braves play.
Now, you're not going to like this. I don't know if anyone from the Braves, front office or ownership is listening, but if I were the Braves, I would start their own streaming service and not join MLB TV. Just looking at the Braves' footprint, it's crazy. Like they have fandom from Virginia, obviously all the way down the eastern seaboard out to Tennessee and Kentucky. Like that's a huge geographic footprint, and if they could get their own like network, people. I mean, again, not as geographically dense as your northern West Coast, but I think that market for the Braves, they would pay it, and they would make potentially. I don't know how much production would be, but potentially more money than by joining like MLB TV.
The market definitely is fruitful enough for them to do that. I agree. Now, I think people have to get away from you're going to spend money. It across the board, doesn't matter what team you're a fan of, the fans are getting screwed with the amount of money. Like I'm spending over $150 for all the TV in my house. And this baseball is going to be an added expense, right? And you might say that's my fault because I don't know how to manage it. But I just spend it so I can watch it. And I have friends tell me to spend $45 on the unlimited, and then he doesn't tell me to cancel it. So I don't know. And then you add in me trying to get the discounts from the Amex and the app, and I don't know. But the reason I think the Braves network would be successful is, though it will cost you more money, it'll be the closest thing to having TBS back.
Sure.
Which I wish they would just go back to TBS and every Braves game's on TBS. But I do hope they do their own network. That's what the Rangers are doing, and it seems successful. The organization, the club gets more money that way. And the idea of having an app on my TV that's just the Braves network, and that could be a straight to user. Now they're gonna make it stupid, but in my head, the best way for the Braves network is, hey, you pay, I don't know, you pay $20 a month, or you pay $120 for the season, but when I get on the Braves network, I should be able to watch pregame, game, post game, and then also, depending on when they roll this out, every spring training game and every minor league game that's televised. Yes. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. I don't know if the Rangers do that, but I should get access to all ball clubs in the Braves organization, pre and post game, and then maybe some additional interview coverage.
Yeah. So that's basically so I pay the single game package or single team package for the Red Sox. And that's basically what I get. I get all the games, Red Sox games, spring training, pre-game, post-game, and then all of the minor league affiliates.
Now, does Mickey just have everything by the nuts? Because is the next thing on the Disney Plus app, is the next tab on Disney Plus going to be the MLB tab because they just now own Major League Baseball?
It's a good question. Probably.
Everything's going to run through Disney. Disney is going to own the way you watch all television.
Mm-hmm.
He owns me. I mean,
that's right. That's right. He does.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? All right, that's all I had on that. I think.
How'd I do? I didn't really put much prep into my homework.
No, you didn't tell me anything I didn't know. I just wanted you to highlight. I wanted you to highlight how ridiculous it is for everyone else, and and the problem is I'm gonna pay it, and I don't want to pay it.
Right.
But you got to pay it. And it's just another example of like people wonder, why people get in consumer debt. And it's because it used to be you bought your cable package and you had everything you needed.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm paying for YouTube TV, ESPN Unlimited, Hulu, Disney, HBO. Now, these are all luxuries, and I fully grant you. But the way the world is now, like they know that. So like all these big TV shows and sporting events that you want to watch, they purposely like they strategically place them across this map of networks, and it just drives in income, and it's upsetting.
I'm thinking more about it. I actually have a one-time fee, probably $35 solution for you.
Hit me.
A new clock radio. That's free. AM, FM. Listen to the Braves.
No, well, I get all the Braves. So I have two ways to listen to the Braves games. One's 680 The Fan has an app, which sometimes that gets weird on the phone. That sometimes they try to it's weird. They try to black you
Just
out on
go
that.
direct, man. FM.
No, well, I can get them on FM, but I pay $20 a month for Sirius XM, so I can get home game coverage, and I can just link it to my speaker. So and the only other thing baseball does have going for it is baseball is probably the best sport to listen to on the radio.
It is the best sport on the radio.
So that's fine, and I'll listen to the games on the radio, but it's upsetting. And I brought my love to the radio. I mean, I've always listened to games on the radio, Kentucky, but when Brendan was playing in the minor leagues, I was listening to all of his Springfield Cardinals and Peoria, and I was listening to all those on radio. And you don't realize, like, Major League's awesome, but listen to a minor league game on the radio. That's Americana.
Yes.
Just throwing on a double-A or single-A baseball game in the middle of nowhere, USA. That's America. It's at its best.
So a show for you. I don't know. It was on. I forget what channel. I want to say like IFC, but now it's streaming on Netflix. Is Brockmire, and it is absolutely hysterical about a PA announcer for a minor league team in Bumble, whatever, Pennsylvania. And it is so funny. Hank Azaria stars and Amanda Peet.
Sounds like my kind of show.
I think you'd like it. Quick, it's 30-minute episodes.
There you go. That's all I got on that, though, Dan. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, baseball, we do have the Mad Hatter in the chat. He's asking, remember us being 3 feet from Buck Showalter when he coached the Orioles at spring training? Do you remember that, Braxton?
Yes, we were sitting in steel bleachers, and there was 2 feet of clearance to the chain-linked fence, and he was standing right there. I could have pulled his white hairs. I could have stolen the big league chew out of his back pocket.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I'm walking. You're walking into the complex while Manny Machado and Chris Davis are walking right past you. You could cup check them. Like, that's how it is. It's just like, it's straight up like you're at a freaking high school tournament. Like, it's just, you're there. And there ain't even an admission fee. You ain't got to pay the $5. You just got to find parking.
We talk about taking Woody Lou Sports and you on the road, and it's been talked about going to Kentucky, doing the live show, or SEC tournament in Nashville. I think spring training would be the best.
Oh. Okay, and you want to know? I can talk about this all night. A fantasy of mine is to be a baseball writer, which I guess you could argue in today's age, anyone could be a baseball writer because anyone can make a website or a blog and just publish it,
or a podcast,
route it through Twitter, Facebook, or a podcast. But like, if we were on say one year, we're like, you know what, dude, we're following the Red Sox's full. I'm talking everything the Red Sox spring training. We're following it and we're writing about it and we're talking about it. I'd go full regalia for it. Like, I'm talking, I'd have newspapers with me. I feel like I'd always have a newspaper. I'd always have a scorebook. I'd have a legal pad. I'd probably start wearing a visor, and I feel like I'd smoke cigarettes a lot. And it, like, stats and storylines and American spirits would be like my identity for about 30 days.
It's just small town USA, Americana.
And like, we're drinking coffee and eating egg omelets somewhere near the water. We're so burnt from the sun because we definitely didn't think it'd get that sunny.
I'd love to get leathery.
Oh, we'd be a mess, and people would think we were in our 70s, but we're just 30s, and it'd be great, and I would love it, and I would probably try to start a war with someone. Like I would find a player that I was going to negatively highlight. Like Trevor Story would be in my crosshairs, and like all my stories would be, yeah, I would be that guy, and then like I would talk crap about him, and then try to get an interview. It'd be a whole arc that I would try to. I'd love it.
It would be fun. So we have it on the ticker, and I think it falls more into, I misunderstood your production note about February sports. I thought you wanted to talk about the Daytona 500, the
Gotcha.
68th of the Great America Race. I
Yeah.
believe it's the 68th.
The 68th.
I think so. 68th running of the Daytona 500.
Yo, this is a big one, Dan. So qualifying starts on Wednesday down there in Daytona, and then they have the duels, two dual races Thursday, into the truck race on Friday night, into the Xfinity, into the Cup. Big season for NASCAR. They got the new playoff system, which with the new playoffs, the expanded playoffs with the tiered race format is going to make it more exciting. Daytona is clearly going to be a big race with. It's always a big race. So this one now even has more playoff implications. So you're going to expect some more aggressive driving. You already never know what to expect at Daytona, but with the playoff change, I expect the drivers to be more aggressive early on. They're pending, their changes to the transmission and the horsepower tuning, like a lot of changes coming to NASCAR. But this one is super special because we have a chance to see the first ever three-peat champion in the 24 car, William Byron. Hendrick Motorsports continuing its dominance. I think the betting favorites right now are for Joey Logano, maybe followed by Ryan Blaney, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked, but I think
Your
you could
guy,
still
Kyle
pull.
Larson.
Yeah, I think you can still pull William Byron at like 14 or 1600 plus odds. So that'd be some fun money to throw around to see a three-peat history made. And he's won it in crazy ways the last 2 years with delays. He's won it on Monday. Like the weather has some rain north of Daytona. Don't know. Hopefully the weather's clear this year. Nothing like a sunny Daytona with no interruptions. But I'm excited for the race. I always get up for the Daytona 500, and then I feel like my NASCAR fandom feigns kind of as the summer goes on, but then picks up about 2 months before playoff. I'm excited. And now that I'm immobilized and I literally can't do anything, it's a good opportunity for me to get back into committing to the races on Sunday. And I really like the truck races, Dan. The problem with the truck races, they start just a little too early for me on Friday nights when the girls are still awake. But I really like the truck race. I'll definitely tune into the duels.
Duels would
And
be
I'm
cool. I think that's a cool part of the Daytona 500 for qualifying.
Yeah, and after I went to Daytona 2 summers ago, Daytona's a cool place, man. It's a really cool place. So it's just different appreciation for it. There's something about it's just America. It's America. It's just like listening to baseball on the radio. It's just fast cars. I think the sport's trying to get better and make some improvements. I think they're listening to their fans a little bit and the owners. Obviously, they had the legal stuff with 23-11 this offseason. So hoping for good things.
What do you think about Jimmy Johnson getting his special guaranteed spot?
Yeah, I mean, he's been racing. I guess he raced in it the last 2 or 3 years, but he raced in. He had to race in at the duels. No, I think Jimmy Johnson. That's fine. It's good for the sport. They got some newcomers coming up, but NASCAR is a pretty long rostered sport in the sense of like once you're kind of on and because of the legal thing, they all kind of came to light. Like once you're on a team, you're there for a while. Like these guys, they get in very young and they stay for a very long time. So it kind of just is what it is. So having Jimmy Johnson come back and run races, he's still a good racer. The cars kind of make it difficult on him, but no, I think it's good.
I kind of see it almost like the Masters, how all former champions like will always have a place, like they're in the field on doesn't not a guaranteed play on the weekend, but I like that. I think it's good to have a NASCAR legend is in the field.
No, for sure.
You got anything else on NASCAR?
No, that's all I got. I just wanted to make sure people were aware.
Yeah, and I do
PSA.
appreciate you. Glass half full. I know you got tomorrow is a big day for you. We're all going to be thinking about you tomorrow as you go under the knife. But keeping your good spirits about these next not few but several months of rehab, recovery, and therapy. And yeah, glass half full. You're going to get back into things you're passionate about while you're immobile.
Maybe this is when I become a baseball writer. Do you think becoming a baseball writer in America is just it's like a yearly due where like I got to do something? Like, I feel like you could pay your way into that, like
Probably
most
like
things, right?
NASCAR. Like, once you're in, like you ain't leaving.
Well,
You
yeah, I
gotta
mean,
break through.
and the thing is, like, a lot of these, I could talk about Baseball Writers Association all night. A lot of these guys, they're super old. A lot of them, like, they got to start dying off eventually. And there's gonna be a power vacuum. So it's kind of just like with the job or the housing market. Like, a lot of these guys are gonna start going off, and the housing market will self-correct. But maybe I pay the dues and become a baseball writer, and then I break the mold and become an umpire when I get out of the Army. The only thing I've been thinking about though is how I'm going to do the show next Sunday.
Okay.
One, well, we got to talk about. Well, it'll be a post Daytona show.
Yep.
I don't know if I can do it where I'm sitting right now because they're really big on the elevated, and I'm not
Sure.
flexible enough to be sitting in this position and elevated. So it might be live from the bedroom for
You're
me.
gonna have
So
your Hugh Freeze game, calling the game.
So
from
hopefully,
your hospital bed on the press
if
box.
if you're someone who likes to watch live and you don't want to see me live from the bed, maybe you just catch us on Spotify after. But yeah, I was sitting here thinking about how I was gonna pull that off. I think I might have my Hugh Freeze game.
You just gave us episode title for 31, Hugh Freeze game. So thank you, Braxton. I don't have to think of a creative title. I like it, the Hugh Freeze game.
I mean, it's gonna be exciting.
I don't want this to fall off because I've been having a blast with WWE. So we did discuss the In Your House. What's the next pay-per-view? Is it WrestleMania?
It's WrestleMania.
Okay, so 97 WrestleMania.
I have nothing but time to watch. This is WrestleMania
97.
What
the number
is that? 14?
12?
13? 12? 14? WrestleMania 1997. We'll watch that one. Why is the number? Yeah, I'll tell you this. Producer Kaylee hates the WWE spots we do, by the way. I just want that to be on the record. And, and this is what I told producer Kaylee. When we get big enough to where we have like at least 5 people that we don't know commenting they don't like it, then we'll move on. But until then, I'm sticking with WWE spots.
And that's a good segue because I gave a little bit of a teaser for this at the beginning of the show. Listener suggestion, Annie in Boston. And this might be something for producer Kaylee. The suggestion is that we watch and have a segment recap for HBO show Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry on HBO?
Yeah, are you familiar?
No, so this would be like fresh for me. I would have no preconceived notions.
No preconceived notions. I'm familiar with the concept, but I have not watched any episodes.
Well, as you know, I pay for HBO Max. I pay for it all. So
yeah, we might just get your money worth out of the HBO Max subscription you have.
What's it about?
Hockey.
Hockey?
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on.
Annie from Boston, timeout. Now, I don't know if Annie from Boston is a live viewer or she catches us on Spotify the next day.
She's a Spotify listener.
Okay, Annie. Hey, again, haven't seen the show. Tell me if I'm wrong, Annie. Is this about the young hockey gentlemen who may have found themselves at a crossroads in the ice between competition and love?
I think you summarized the show perfectly, at least how I know of it.
And so Annie from Boston wants us to watch it, and then each week we do episode 1, episode 2 recap.
Correct.
Now, Dan, I don't know Annie from Boston. Why do you think Annie from Boston would recommend that we do this?
I think that she listens to What Do Sports and You, enjoys sports, She may not be like in the weeds like some of us are in remembering, specific plays from Kentucky football from like 2003 to 2007. Um, so this show is something that, she would definitely hop into the chat for if your loyal hosts were to discuss it.
So okay, and Annie from Boston's not crazy because producer Kaylee has had some comments for us. So
Producer comments.
producer Kaylee is a fan of the show. So we do production meetings on air. So producer Kaylee is a fan of the show called The Toast, and The Toast is a very successful podcast of two sisters. And apparently, on one of their podcasts, they were talking about how when they just started and they had no following, the way they would get viewers is they would title they would title their episodes after things that were like hot in social media or
Oh,
pop
okay.
culture. So, like for example, this episode today could have been called "Did Bad Bunny Do Good at the concert?" Something like "Did the Seahawks win last night?" would be the name of our show. Like people who don't know, Google it, whatever.
Sure.
So in the same vein, like yes, I think if we were able to get appropriate clips of us recapping heated rivalry on HBO Max, and then we had a show title in line with heated rivalry on HBO Max, that could segue us into viewers. Now, when you're thinking about that, I don't know what type of demo we're going to get with that, and that's fine. We welcome any demo, but that'd be something. So
I think we give it a try.
you want me to watch an episode of Heated Rivalry?
Not a episode, the premiere episode.
I mean, yeah, I can't leave the bed for the better part of the day, so I don't think I have really. It's a 2-foot wall for me to watch it. I reserve the right to fast forward when appropriate.
Understood.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, is it a good show? Have there been reviews that said it's like actually a good show?
All right, let's producer Chat GPT. Let's see what you
Give me a
got.
Rotten Tomatoes. Do we only have to do a stipulation where we only do shows with a Rotten Tomatoes score higher than like 70?
Reviews of heated rivalry. All right, producer Chat GPT. Wow. So Rotten Tomatoes, that's the gold standard for you?
Well, I feel like it's reputable.
Reputable. Okay. What do you think is the Rotten Tomatoes approval score?
I bet you the Rotten Tomatoes score is higher than the audience score, which I also hold the audience score in more regard. I'm going to say the Rotten Tomatoes score is an 82.
So I'm actually going to go right to the source. That's just the Chat GPT summary, so I'm Googling it right now. Okay, 82 for which, the viewer or critic?
I'm going to say the tomato score is 82. I bet the viewer score is probably 68 or lower. Higher. Hit me with it.
96 tomato meter, 88 popcometer.
Okay.
I got you now.
Okay.
You're intrigued.
Well, the Boots on Netflix got canceled.
It did.
Yes. Did you watch Boots?
I did.
Did you enjoy Boots?
It was okay. I thought it was good.
Okay. I feel that. Mad Hatter reports that he did not get through the first episode of Boots.
To be fair, I have not had an actual legit basic training or any real army training experience, so I can understand if someone.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Boots is not 100% depiction of boot camp in whatever year it was being depicted.
It was right before Gulf War One, so probably 1991.
Yeah. But I like hockey. So yeah.
Also, from a boot standpoint, I highly doubt that there would be an investigation across installations into what it was called buggery back then. I don't suspect that they would have invested resources like that. I could be wrong.
Oh, so you're watching it. You're nitpicking.
I mean,
You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't help myself.
No, fair enough, man.
Okay, so we're gonna give it a try. So homework, we have
WrestleMania
and Heated Rivalry episode 1.
And
Matt Hatter,
Validate.
did you do your homework? Did you watch the Schedule Makers 30 for 30 short?
No, he did not.
Okay.
But so we'll watch WrestleMania, we'll watch Heated Rivalry, we'll watch Daytona. We'll
Daytona.
report back on that, and then I'll definitely be able to give some stories about this procedure as I get my quad taken from me to be created into a new ACL. And who knows where I might be doing the show live from the bed next week, which will be exciting. Dan, there is one thing that's happening this week. I don't know what day it is. Let's look at the calendar here. It's going to be on Saturday.
That's right.
Any Valentine's Day plans?
No, as of right now, no Valentine's Day plans, but I am going to a concert on Friday night at Cannery Hall in Nashville. Casey Donahue is playing Friday night.
Nice. So you got two COAs. The way I see it, you meet a nice Catholic girl at the Casey Donahue concert, or it'd be a bad week to be Hinge or Tinder or Bumble in the Woodhouse apartment. So just let me know which route you go, and then hopefully you segue that into a nice. I would go ahead and get a reservation for 2 in Nashville for Saturday night, just in case. It'd be hard to get one last second.
Yeah.
And also, girls like confidence, so you can already brief you have a reservation for you too. That'd be a good pickup line. Actually,
that's pretty good. About it. You've been out of the game for a while, Braxton. That's pretty good.
I've been out of the game, but you meet a girl at this Casey Donahue concert, and you have a nice 5 to 10 minute conversation. You look at her and you say, you know what? Like, this is obviously a really loud and venue, but we're having a lot of fun. I just want to let you know I have us a reservation tomorrow at insert restaurant at 1900. I'd love to take you, and then you just go from there. So
yeah, I appreciate that. That's pretty good. I do want to say something else, and this I just sparked in my mind, and I know thoughts and prayers with Lindsey Vonn, but you tore your ACL. She did too, and she competed in the Olympics in the downhill. Didn't go very well for her, but I just want to have that comp.
Okay, so Lindsey Vonn, we'll talk it.
Okay.
So she raised a lot of debate on Twitter amongst like some high-level orthopedic surgeons and doctors.
Are you deep now into like orthopedic surgeon, like Twitter X?
It's my whole algorithm. And what I'll say is, almost unanimously, all of these orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists and medical sports medicine doctors pretty much unanimously said, "There's no way you have a fully ruptured ACL and you're doing this." To which she got on Twitter and got real lippy and was like, "It's 100." She responded to a lot of these doctors, and were like, "Hey, this is a 100% rupture, blah blah." And this one guy specifically, he works with high level athletes, and he was like, "Hey, I hear you. I wish nothing for the best. All I'm saying is, the only way for this to be feasible is if you had previous trauma to the knee that you don't know about, and then." She was talking about the quad. He's like, it's really actually not your quad, it's your hamstring strength that would compensate over blah, blah, blah. But even with that being said, the idea that 5 days after a full rupture, you could do this is, he was doubtful. And you know what? All I know is after 5 days after my incident happened, I couldn't walk. And I have a very high pain tolerance. I'm not obviously an Olympic athlete, but I have a super high pain tolerance, and like it wasn't it wasn't even a pain thing. It wasn't like a pain management thing. It was like I just physically couldn't. I couldn't move. I just couldn't do it.
Like even if you were shot up with everything, it was still not happening.
I just couldn't do it, man. So I don't know what I think is unfortunate or funny or ironic, however you want to look at it, is she goes, and maybe you didn't know about this, so I'm telling you, she goes on this big Twitter war with all these people talking about
I was not aware of.
So she goes on this
like
Twitter
she should be
war.
prepping for the Olympics and not on Twitter with these surgeons.
So she goes on this Twitter war and then obviously does her run. 13 seconds in, she crashes out, breaks her tibia, gets airlifted, goes into immediate surgery. And then the best thing she did is she tweeted again and released a statement, and she doubled down on, yeah, that wreck had nothing to do with my fully ruptured ACL.
Sure.
Like, it was not a contributing factor to what led to that wreck. Which at this point, it's like, okay, dude. Like I'm starting to question why you were on the Olympic team if you've had 2 runs with 2 catastrophic, accidents. But be that as it may, Tiger, she's got a little different energy in her now that her and every day.
I feel like that's like 10 years old.
Yeah,
Tiger and Lindsey Vonn. Oh so, man.
Well,
I mean, I think you and Mahomes. That's gonna be a tough. You got a lot of
I'm on his tail.
Make up there. I think Lindsey Vonn. I think her career's done. So probably not worth chasing her. Even though that window's a little closer for you on surgery.
Yeah. No, I'm on Patrick Holmes's.
All right.
I can see his shadow. So
I'm looking forward to it. Turkey Bowl 2026. Fort Knox.
Quarterback all time. Not playing safety.
On that, I think we are at almost the hour 20 mark, Braxton. This was a fun episode 30. So happy to have you back. And no, we're definitely, like, in all seriousness, going to be thinking about you tomorrow when you go into the knife. Any final thoughts?
I appreciate all of the listeners, and I appreciate you, Daniel. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Coming off anesthesia. Might have to go on Instagram Live. We'll see what happens.
That's encouraged. If you use the Woody Lou Sports and You on Instagram, look out for Lou going live post surgery. So with that, we're gonna sign off. Thank you to our award-winning listeners, everyone in the chat. Don't forget to share, subscribe,